stood. The seeds of code were carved in stone, with standards set by hands of old. The tale of systems vast was told, yet in those roots a war did rise. The Unix clans with rival cries, from battles born a path was clear, where freedom's call we'd soon revere. From Unix roof through wars we came, to Linux lands where all lay claim. With T2's light our journey's course we
Welcome everyone to another T2 Linux video. In a previous episode we have shown you how to create a new package here based on our recent knowledge base entry for our zero to low code key value metadata packaging system, package manager. And sometimes people, of course, ask us to update packages. Usually we do this automatically. We have in data AI for that. We do that manually. But sometimes, especially lesser important packages we might miss that we don't use daily or moved. Like usually stuff moves from one website to another. Case in point, libmicmod. Notified here this old version, according to also Red Hat Bugzillers, doesn't default to either output, especially on Sun Ultra Spark systems here, the last Linux distribution to keep all the risk goodness alive. And turns out, so yeah, updating this wasn't touched in a while. I just, as subversion git logged that here. It's like, yeah, not the most active package. I also noticed here that the URL goes not to some casino advertising site. So quite some things are to do. The latest version here is 3.3.11.1. Let's see, this comes from the good old-fashioned SourceForge site. So to update the version manually, if you would do this fully manually in our low-code key value format here, you would go here to the version, change the version here, and here in the file name, and you would also need to zero the checksum. This is a checksum that is auto-generated. Usually you could generate this manually, but of course nobody does that, right? We have a helper for that. The new T2 top-level frontend for that would be T2 update package name version, either with dash, that works, should work, or either with dash or with space. So basically you can copy and paste that, and more that doesn't download because this moved, right? So that you see the T2 script zeros the checksum here, shows you the diff, substitutes the version here. That is how you do it. In this case, some manual labor is required, which is also obviously by our AI. Didn't find that because our AI does not yet scrape randomly index the whole internet archive, but only selectively looks at this website, and it's now a casino advertising website. I don't even understand how this always happens to some open source project, but it is what it is. So we also want to change the URL here. In the case of SourceForge, similar to Git, due to their automated content distribution system, the download things are a little bit annoying because you always get some random mirror. We don't like this for packaging. It's like all the packages are normal except like GitHub and like all the big name site. But you can copy and paste that here, so copy download link. The only thing is you get some random mirror based on your location. I get here community systems, whatnot. We don't do that here. We have special support for that. The only question is, did it only work with HTTPS? So we have special support, like you see here. So the file name in T2 is always the download tag file name and then the rest of the URL. So it needs to be that. And then we need to, from memory, I think it was SourceForge, but let's see, we might need to, for this kind of stuff, it's always good to check with some other package. I think you could grab that, like how to check that you would just grab for other packages using SourceForge. Of course, it would download with this fixed mirror, but we would want automated mirror detection or manual selection for power users. This is why we prefer, like any professional would not some random content distribution network edge node, but some generic top level one and automatic or manual override selection. So I remember some ACPI2 or whatnot package. Was it not ACPI2? Okay, whatever. D maybe. Just from my memory that came here. DL SourceForge package name. Let's see. Apparently maybe. This is the. So this is always annoying even for me. So this is HTML also for SourceForge. I'm not sure then if let's save this as a comment for a second. I basically should have tested this without looking. So wait, what? Oh, wrong file. What other? Okay, let's grab this. Like we should grab TL source for source. We maybe should document this, as is also some really old stuff. What would be not really old stuff? So as you see, so usually this should be about that. This is what did we most recently maybe up. So usually it is SourceForge net. Oh wait, there is, okay, this might be super old URL. SourceForge, what would be gsoap 2 SourceForge gsoap 2 though? So I only want to do it the right way, to teach you the right way. I don't really feel like YOLOing that here. Really many old you're missing an E. Just missing an E. Source. There's that certainly. Thank you. SourceForge. Okay, does it work better without typo? What would I do with this without this amazing community? That probably maybe downloads, potentially maybe something. Yes. Okay, it was like I remembered. So what this does is just as we misuse the GitHub or use or misuse whatever is fancy. I think that probably should do some on the fly mirror proxy thing, maybe not, but you can overwrite this in T2 misc whatnot download translation thing if you wanted to. So that should have done the trick. All right, we want to change this website to whatever they have here. Where would be web here? Is that now SourceForge only? I mean, yeah, whatever happened to the original developer, maybe he just has abandoned that. And this is why he's privately I mean, here is something. Okay, it's probably SourceForge, then it is what it is. Certainly because currently then our website, our automatically generated package matrix here on T2 freaking all packages, then also links and improves the SEO, the search engine optimization of this bloody casino site. That's of course not ideal, as it is not ideal for our users to be sent to some random casino, whatnot, advertising nonsense site. So also Wayland copy and paste only works every second time. Gotta love this stuff. Probably Firefox thing of only copying this to Wayland, but not to if you unselect the text selection. So yeah, sometimes a little bit, especially when websites move, a little bit assembly required. That should be if we test this mod that is 3.1.11 to 3.3.11. Let's of course test build this T2 install lib mod and hope that is a new enough version that fixes the bug, because this is mostly reported for do I have that here still somewhere? Bug red hat stuff of not using Elsa sound output but writing a wave file, also a hotfix libdir. So of course after a decade some patch might not apply anymore. Usually I just delete it first and hope that it is fixed upstream. Usually we have like fixing lib64 stuff, right, for hotfix libdir, probably that didn't honor lib, at least in the package config in file. Let's see if this, like if you already see that was previously patched, then better look into the T2 metadata administrative files in var adm Unix, like T2 stores plain text ASCII readable human readable metadata, in F for file lists, in lib mic mod for example, that is lib64 here, that is at least good. Is it also apparently we patch this package config, is this correct in here, or libd here of libdir user lib. Okay, that is apparently working. That was apparently fixed in the meantime. Then, as I mentioned in the previous, just rewind to the previous video here in the archives, creating a package, right? How to submit this. We have, you could just svn div that, of course, like git div, git send email, open a GitHub T2, GitHub issue, pull request, whatever, right? Send it by email, Discord, and other good means, or just via Patreon, of course, where you anyway can support our work on keeping all those architectures maintained. And we have a helper for that, like div lib make mod, right here, make mod. Save this to a file, like good old-fashioned Unix times, right? Like lib, like for example, lib make mod 337 patch, right? If stat lib make mod that, right? This changes here, deleting the file, adding this file. This is how this worked, right? This is of course subversion and git do internally. Just many people surprised, like, hey, this is how this was done 20 years ago before version control system, right? I can commit this directly, and you should run this helper. We have a helper for that here, the T2 package manager commit thing. For example, here, I always criticize other submitting stuff with whitespace damage. There is a stray whitespace. Professionals don't like that. So let's clean that here before we submit this. And that is why you should also even accept the handful of core developers who have write access. If you contribute regularly, of course, you will get 2. Also, I have some complete nonsense here with what have I done? They operated VI wrongly. Yeah, always proofread the stuff. Even senior developers here live on Twitch and YouTube make bugs. Not really sure what I did there. Someone operated my editor wrong. Looks like you are twice. Yeah, whatever I did there. That is also pro tip. No matter the project, 2 pro tips. Proofread, always proofread at least once if it's complex Linux kernel, GCC, LVM, Clang, Rust, Zig, other amazing good Firefox stuff. The more complex, the more prestige. Proofread more than once, at least twice, and check your whitespace damage. HTTP make mod there, and so commit. All right, one thing for T2, you should, if the cache dependency stuff majorly changes, which often is the case, maybe in this case, copy this cache file, T2 specific metadata cache file of linked dependencies, for example, alzalib directly. Apparently previously, well, don't know what happened here previously. Maybe the old version didn't even have alza support, I don't know. Maybe optional eSound, so maybe there is more stuff to do, but that's for another day. Apparently also Pulse Audio. Probably all of this stuff is optional. So ideally we could go and mark optional dependencies. I mean, we could also do this now to one last thing, marking optional dependencies. So this is a T2 as per previous video, low or no code packaging, superior packaging system as documented here on our website and seen on Twitch and YouTube. So that would be here, knowledge base here, or the full handbook here, broken all in one, right, if you wanted to read all the good documentation. So optional dependency, in other Linux distribution you would need to do that same, just usually with more code. In T2 some optional dependencies are even automatically detected. For example, if T2 code already uses package install stuff, it automatically gets tracked as an optional dependency. You can mark this manually. So for example, if you want, so the benefit is if someone emerges this on their PS3 or G4 Cube or SGIO2 or UltraSpark, they would be asked, do you want to build, like currently this would build like Pulse Audio or alza. If they are both optional, it would be preferable if the T2 source build packaging system asks the user, do you want to install this or the other? That is why we started to mark them, and which is why it is missing there. Obviously it wasn't updated, it wasn't the most popular package for firmware development with the T2 system development environment. So var adm logs of lib migmod. How to find optional dependencies? Either you read the source of the package, or you just see here if they check for that. Here is ALSA, probably they check for ALSA, do they check for pulse audio, or is it pulse audio, pulse simple? Okay, we could even, so we do here mark optional dependencies. This are also, maybe this doesn't need an auto. So I know, so these are old-fashioned quirk override things. Maybe it's not needed. Let's try if it builds without that. Optional dependencies, things like E is for dependency. Theoretically, we have long forms, but it's not prefer to use them. So theoretically, this could be flex, but maybe we remove support for this even. We don't, like, no package uses this. Like, theoretically, this would be dep, but we prefer the short forms. Like every developer I've seen so far prefers the short forms, in case you were wondering where this comes from. I think it's better and more uniform to have shorter listings here. So optional lib, was it? It's either lib, I believe, and oops, pulse audio. Then let's uninstall this. It's a throwaway VM, so YOLO doesn't matter. ALSA lib pulse audio. Don't try this at home. We only do this here for science. We just reinstall this. So this would not install because it's currently installed, right? So we force this, T2 install force this. It currently builds like, yeah, deps none. So there are some options like build without dependencies, because it did build previously and I don't want to reinstall it either. Currently that is what happens if the package is marked as needs that. So as we see, this is the difference between a basic T2 package and a well-maintained T2 package with all these optional dependency markings. And now if we add this with a cache file, it also built with some automake quirks that probably was needed to build this old-fashioned decade-old package on RISC 5, 64, or whatever, or x86, 64 stuff. So commit that with diff here. So now we see it's marked as optional here and there. It wasn't required, so that is correct. Probably the same for eSound. I mean, if we are at it, we could also do that. Still check for ESD driver. It even has here ESD for some reason. Maybe this works for, maybe they have their own driver which doesn't rely on the headers of that, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Or it builds with an empty thing, building nothing, doesn't matter. So don't see it instantly there. It's not the most popular thing anymore. So fine, then we commit it without that. Just a little bit of last minute double checking, make not so much. That patch, their optional dependencies, eSound, I don't see it anymore. libxml maybe new, probably should have been used. libxml, right? Debug. This is even, okay, that is an interesting one. It's even, we need to improve our scripting. This is even an invalid one. We don't expect you to check that. I just wondered, and I removed the .cache because I manually cleaned up the .cache file. We will keep in mind to improve our scripting to make that even not depend on first directory created. That is something for another day. I removed the .cache because otherwise the script would recopy the override our just manually polished thing. Also, our build system realized it didn't use patch anymore, right? Because previously there was a patch, we deleted the patch no longer needed. All the stuff, all the superior necessities for gracious source distribution, firmware, cross-compile, T2 system development, living, committed like this there. It is there for you playing along at home on your SGIO2, MIP64, PowerPC 3, PowerPC, PlayStation 3, PowerPC, UltraSpark, or latest and greatest RISC 5 stuff. I hope this clears up some things and motivates people. We have so many new users, whether it's PlayStation 3, Power Macintosh, the last distribution that runs stable on UltraSpark or supports Itanium. And then of course you can install the whole plethora of multimedia, audio, video goodness on your RISC or epic, explicit, parallel, high-end or Sun, Niagara Falls, cool thread workstation or servers. I hope you enjoyed this, learned something. Don't forget to subscribe. There are plenty of videos. If you want to learn more, just the previous video was how to create a package. Other videos, how to simply install T2 Linux. Don't delay, try it for free. It's a 100% open source project, doesn't cost a cent. But if you want to support us, we of course have that too, and appreciate every donation towards hardware costs, internet, hosting, domains, and electricity bills. Hope you enjoyed to learn something. Have a good day or night, and I hope to see you soon for all the other next great stuff to come.